Steve and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the Land House Academy show. Entertaining real estate investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about assessor value versus market value.
Boy, do we have a lot to say.
And how different they are. Really quickly, the assessor creates a value, and every single one is different. Every assessor in the 3,144 counties in this country has a different theory about how they should assess your property, house or land or anything else that you own, so that they can tax you. It has nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with the market value of your property.
You know what's interesting? I got to ask this too, because, and then every assessor is going to be different. So there's and is it a voted in position? I think it is.
Assessor is elected position. I think, Joe.
I think
it might be appointed in some places. I mean, that's a great question.
Like I'm curious. So here's what happened.
I think it is elected.
That's what I think. I want to say I see it on the ballot. Well, I'm going to, trust me, I've never really paid attention to it, but maybe I should start. But, you know, how these guys, the old guy versus how the new guy is going to look at this is going to be different. Some new guy's going to come in and probably want to I'm going to bring this down and bring down everybody's taxes. And the next guy might want to come in and say, all right, I'm going to bring this up because we need more money in our city.
Yeah, I don't think they sit around and decide themselves. And I don't think they change the mechanism, but because the mechanism has long been put in place. But what you need to know is it's different.
And they can introduce,
yes.
They could walk in and introduce a new variable that says, hi, I'm the new assessor. You guys elected me for a reason. And here's how I think we should all be looking at this. This is Dallas County, and we're missing the boat. I don't know.
That's all true.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about what that all means versus, in the context of you purchasing a house and reselling it and valuing a mailer. This is what we're really talking about.
I want to do that. Could you imagine this? I joke about this often. Like, what kind of hey, think of a funny occupation for your next party. Like, what do you do? Well, I'm the Orange County assessor.
You want to get some drinks thrown in your face?
That's why I'm saying it. Could you imagine? Just to see the look on somebody's face, like, what?
How about I'll go with the treasurer, you go as the assessor.
Exactly. We work for the county. Oh my gosh. That's how we met. Isn't it romantic?
Oh my gosh.
We have no friends. No kidding.
We might not leave that party alive.
That would be so funny. Yeah, I'm the new assessor.
Oh man.
Wow. Okay, sorry. I feel bad for those assessors out there. I'm sorry.
We have some former assessors in our group. We probably
didn't know what you were signing up for.
We have some former county assessors in our group for sure, and treasurers.
Oh my gosh. Okay, on with the show.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the houseacademy.com online community. It's free.
Ben wrote, and there's a note here that says he's not a member. So, by the way, you don't have to be a member to be in our online community. Clearly, and these are some of the questions that non-members write. Quick question. When pulling data from Agent Pro 24/7, well, there's an indication too, because we have Title Pro 24/7 and we use other things better for data. True. Because a lot of the Agent Pro 24/7 are just pre-thought up lists. You can't tweak them and personalize them like we do. You are able to populate a field that shows as market value land and total market value.
In quotes.
That pulls a spreadsheet. That pulls to the spreadsheet. Does anyone know where this data is pulled from and how it is determined? If I could base my pricing on those figures, I could create a much more pinpointed mailer. Does anyone use those figures to base their mailer pricing off of? And if so, can you speak to the accuracy of those figures?
And then in typical form in the forum, there's lots of other people that pipe in. For whatever reason on this string, there are a lot of people who piped in to give their opinions who are also not House Academy members or Land Academy members. To which I had to chuckle to myself and say, now these people are teaching themselves all this wrong stuff and perpetuating it.
I heard this. I heard that. Like what kind of stuff was in there?
Oh yeah, well I did a mailer that said market land value, and I based it off of this, and this is how it's going, and and it's Ben, I'm not picking on you or anybody else that was in that string, but I have to say just very directly, if you get or are going to get educated correctly on this stuff, it's a good idea to become a member. And if because you're really and I'm not screwing around here, perpetuating a fatal error in your house and land investment career, which is pricing mailers.
Right.
Market land value, to directly answer your question, and total market value as a data set in these assessor data files, which is where all this stuff comes from, is pure fiction.
Mm-hmm.
It is fictional. You're asking somebody to bake a cake who's a mechanical engineer and has never been in a kitchen before. These people they're not data people. They're tasked with valuing a property through some type of mechanism and then implementing it by sending letters out for tax bills and stuff and assessment. So market land value is something that they came up with. Who knows how the answer is? Who knows how they came up with it?
Because they're all different.
Total market value. Yeah. First of all, they're completely different. One county and the next county have a completely different concept. And if you actually look at those values that they determine somehow, and you look at it like property that's actually for sale in the MLS or anywhere else, if it's land on land and farm and on, you're going to see that how wildly different. Like in Michigan, for some reason, the assessed values and the market land and total land value that they come up with are grossly higher for some reason than the actual market value of the property. And it has to do with Michigan's on some type of millage concept, and I don't fully understand it. I just remember as a kid, because I'm from there, my parents having all the millage is going up again, so our property taxes are going again. Right. They don't use that by and large as an assessment tool for real estate in the West Coast. So I don't want to get all too brainy on this.
Too late.
Here's only with houses. We are lucky as heck to be in the house reselling and blind offer business right now, because there's never been more perfect free data available to price a mailer. Who's got great data from which to price a mailer? Realtor.com, Zillow and Trulia, Redfin, DataTree. There's a bunch out there. Realty Track, Movado. So they all have these algorithms that they have spent millions and millions of dollars to develop. And they're all different, but they're all kind of similar in value.
And they're based on what is happening in the market right now. That's the point. Not what's assessed or what they think it should be or what it was a year ago.
Exactly right, Jill.
Thank you.
If you take an average, and
they change daily.
This is what we teach. So this is the right way now. Are we into the top? Oh,
and we should. On. Let's get into this.
Today's topic, assessor value versus market value. This is why you're listening.
Thank you. I have a lot to say too. So you want to go first?
Very quickly. Okay. This is the right way to do it. And then we'll listen to Jill.
It sounds like yours is the right way. And then we'll hear Jill's answer.
No.
Thanks a lot.
I do want to hear what you have to say too, because actually I'm in the group, between the two of us, I'm the data person. So, and I have this all figured out. Like it's so proven and tested that I have to chuckle with this whole topic. If you take an asset of an SFR asset, a house, and you look it up on Zillow and you look it up on Trulia and all the sites that I just mentioned, and you line them up in a spreadsheet and you divide by the number of them to get their average, you're going to get a darn good, accurate value for that asset very quickly and for free. So if it's 123 Main Street in Carefree, Arizona, it's a house that's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, built in whatever, and you take all those averages and it's $180,000 or it's going to be some weird odd number because of the way the averages work in the algorithms. That's the retail value of that property at the time that you took all the data. Nowhere did I talk about the assessed value or total market value or anything to do with what the county thinks that property's worth. All the county does is apply some value to the property, and then they do a calculation that we don't know about to send you a tax bill. Mm-hmm. That's what market land value, according to the assessor, and total market value are, according to the assessor. And by the way, they break it up into 3 things. And this is now too brainy, but Every piece of real estate gets 3 assessed value numbers: for the improvement value, the actual structure, the land value, the dirt under below it, and they add those 2. That's the total land value. It has nothing to do with what we do for a living, any of us or any of you who are on this call. So, this is the moment in the podcast where if you're driving, please really pay attention to this. Forget assessed value. Don't even look at it. Mm-hmm. Just forget it.
I love it. And I totally agree with you. Obviously, we're on the same page. We know this is to be true. I was going to say there's a couple points I want to make to this, and just to kind of hit it home and chillify it, if I may.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because we lost half of our listeners.
Totally. So think about this. It's often a couple of things to point out is often they are a year or years behind. So every time there's like a boom, a new company's moving to town or a new company's shutting down. This is happening right now too. Think about even, not to take it to health things, but maybe with, American Airlines, and these airlines are taking big hits right now because of passengers and the illness
hits, yeah.
And stock hits and stuff. Like, do you think the assessor is going to be like, and so what's going to happen is now people are going to be moving, maybe selling their homes and things like that. It's going to affect real estate too. And maybe right now today, but in the next few months it could, right? Well, sometimes these changes, it could be, a year behind before the assessor catches up with all this. They don't run out and go, oh, Lexus is leaving town. They just announced this. Let's run out and reassess everybody that had a house near this. No, they don't do that right away. So that's a couple things I want to just make everybody aware, like, oh yeah, this is why these numbers are so off. They are years, often 1 or more years behind. That's number one.
Even in an urban area.
Well, up or down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, up or down. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not immediate. Number 2, like you pointed out, it really is used for taxes. That's the whole point. Sometimes in these areas, here's what I have noticed. I've noticed areas where everybody's paying, some reasonable, when I say reasonable, amount of taxes, it's cheap. Some areas it's like crazy expensive, but some areas are very rural and they're paying, they may have 5 acres and they're paying $30 a year kind of thing. Come on. Does that really make sense? No, it really doesn't. But for whatever reason, everybody's happy. Nobody raises a stink about the $30 or the $80 or whatever it is a year, $150. So they keep the assess because the calculations, however their calculations are, like you said, add up to that amount. They just keep it that way. And so it shows this value, which is really not a real number. It's really tied to the taxes. And then the third thing I want to say, I just want to give an example because this is what really happens. I'll have a seller calling me back on a house that we've made an offer on. And we often giggle and chuckle at what the assessed value is because it's so off. And often it's lower than what, that's what I find. It's often lower than what it's the real market value. And I could dig my heels in. Sometimes it's higher, but usually often it's lower. But I could dig my heels in and say, oh, you know what? It's only assessed $130,000. I'm not giving you a penny more when everything on the block is selling for $180,000. If you haven't really looked at it, please do.
Which, by the way, is the value of the property.
Exactly. The value is $180,000, not $130,000. It's the funniest thing, and we laugh about it. Well, how does that happen? Well, you know what? If Mr. Jones or Mr. Smith or somebody builds an addition, do you think they're going to run down to the assessor and say, excuse me, I owe you more money now? They're like, no, they're happy. Like you talked about, did you share about your mom used to go do that?
No.
Okay.
I have in the distant past on the show.
But not today.
You can contest. Everybody has procedure for citizens or property owners in a county to go contest their taxes or whatever municipality. And the chances are they're going to rule in your favor. If you approach it like a human being and not like a crazy person. Exactly. Most judges, this has been my personal experience actually with my family. Most judges are like, thanks for coming in and taking advantage of the statutes that have been written here since this whole environment was incorporated. Mm-hmm. Heck yes, I'm going to help you reduce your taxes. Yep. You're the one of 3 people that have come in a population of 45,000 in this area that would love to reduce your taxes with you. If
you've ever owned a home, you've got that postcard every year and it tells you what it is. It's not a too bad, so sorry postcard. It's
Jill, you're a crack up today.
Seriously. It's if you look and read that postcard, it's your chance to go, look, if you don't like this, you don't agree with this, this is the steps you need to take. And I encourage you to do that if you don't agree with the postcard. Because like Stephen just said, you come at this approach and go, look, I know this is going on and this is going on, this is going on. However, have you seen my house? You know, whatever you want to do, walk in. And by the way, I would totally do this. I would walk in and paint a bleak picture of your neighborhood and the street and say, I'm about to put bars on the second floor, even though we know it's not true. I would totally do that. And then if you present that case in a nice way, you'll get what you want.
I make the mistake in my life. I make this mistake, and I will till the day I die. I assume that everybody knows about real estate.
Right.
So what we're really talking about is a homeowner who's a teacher or something, or they have whatever. They're an accountant. They have no real understanding, or do they care about how taxes work, or they're assessed, or the definitions we're talking about. We're making a big deal about it on the show today because we're all in the real estate business. Right. So to make it worse, and my point is, I understand that people are confused. In Arizona specifically, there's a phrase, and with a number that follows it called full cash value. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, here's your postcard that Jill just mentioned. The new full cash value of your house is $182,000. And the vast majority of people get that and they say, oh, my house is worth $182,000. Yeah. Congratulations, it went up. What it's really saying is your taxes are going up. And this is this is the assessed value, for lack of a better description. And we just put a cute phrase in front of it. Congratulations. No, it's all bad.
Right.
And I'll tell you, in reality, it's probably worth a lot more than that. Right. So you have to, which, it comes back to Ben's question, full circle here. How do I use this data set that I have for all these properties? Because I don't want to buy data. I want to spend as little as possible. And I want to do this like halfway. I don't want to do it all the way. I want to do it kind of halfway, get everything free and not, pay anything and send a mailer out. So, and that, I think that leads to failure, which ultimately leads to, I'm not very good at this, which is all incorrect, by the way.
I just think it's a waste of money.
It's a waste of data money and a waste of mail money.
Do it right. Yeah, it costs some money. It takes some time. Yeah. Do it right, because then you'll get the offers back. You get good deals.
Every week, Jill and I on Thursday, we have a House Academy call. It's a live Zoom webinar event. And we listen to the stories and share our stories of people who are buying and selling houses that are in our group. It's a closed call. And we hear amazing stories. And every week the group gets bigger. And every week we hear more amazing stories using the pricing methodology for these offers. So the reason I'm not picking on Ben at all. The reason that I chose this question and this topic today is because I really want to set the record straight about how to price a blind offer SFR campaign where you're going to buy some houses at the price that you want, and then pop the cork and celebrate, instead of getting this terminology mixed up and then regurgitating it, and then other people are reading it and saying, well, that's all I have to do. And so there's no shortage of people that are out there leading other people down a bad path. Not a bad path, just an incorrect path.
That's hilarious.
I hate to use this word, but it's not, because it's so negative, but it's the word ignorant. It's not, it's just, ignorant means uninformed. It doesn't mean stupid. So nobody's stupid here. It's just uneducated, which you can change tomorrow. I can change my ignorance about how to change spark plugs tomorrow. I just choose not to do that. It's not high on my list. I do know how to change those, by the way.
That's a good one. Yeah, what are you
ignorant about?
I was just going to say that. I'm like, well, right now changing the shower head.
I'll do that for you.
Thank you.
Why are you doing that anyway?
I wasn't, but okay, I looked at the box and it says no tools required. Do it in minutes. I'm like, I could do this, or I could leave it on the counter and probably Stephen will come along and do it for me.
With a sticky note and a heart on it that says, "Please change when you have time." Please change
the shower head. So,
which means change it freaking now.
No,
so, I know.
It does not.
You know what? This is a great example.
I love it. I'm trying to think.
Changing a shower head that the package says there's no tools. Of course, there's tools involved. You got to get the old one off. You're not going to do that with your hands, or unless it's installed incorrectly. Or look at a cake mix. This is everything. If you read a cake mix or a brownie mix, the box, it's like, all you need is an egg. No. You need the common sense. You need some stuff.
Do you know what I'm also ignorant about? Because you know what it is? I think, God, oh, wait a minute. I'm having a moment.
It's the same thing with real estate.
Wait.
You need some stuff to get this done.
Wait. I've got something here. Sometimes we're ignorant about things because we're not passionate about it. I'm here to call a spade a spade. If you could see this setup with me right now and what's going on around me, you would say, Stephen is not ignorant on how to do lighting or a podcast or all this audio video equipment. It's off the charts. It looks like CNN in here. I got to tell you.
And he's not mentally healthy because of it.
No, it's a little weird. I could, if I really wanted to, I could sit and really, it would take me some time. I wouldn't do it as quickly as you or as well as you, but I could figure out how to do some stuff here. I don't want to. I'm not passionate about it. So I was kind of taking it a little bit deeper and just wondering, is Ben not really passionate about that? Because if you really are passionate, you're going to get to the bottom of this. You're not going to skip along the top.
I agree, man. There's
you.
a right way to do this. And you are going to you will take it as a house investor to the place where you want to go. If you want to own a jet 10 years from now, all you got to do is learn how to price the right way. And it doesn't involve the assessed value.
Right.
I'm here to tell you.
Right. So decide if this is really for you and what you really want to do.
Yep.
Thank you. Happy you could join us today. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we are right here on the House Academy Show. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we are over on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called Using Software to Price Your Mailer. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
We're like chatty today.
Yeah.
We have a lot to say.
Tomorrow, we're going to talk about, and it kind of bleeds over from the underlying concept of today. There's these tools that people develop to try to make this easier and faster. And in the end, is it easier and faster, or do you just cause some problems for yourself?
I love it.
Guess which one I think.
I love it. The House Academy Show remains commercial free for you, our loyal listeners. So wherever you are watching or wherever you are listening, please subscribe and rate us there. It does make a difference. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.